Good afternoon, Scott Redler, T3 Live. Welcome to today's little IPO trading example or seminar or secret sauce, however you want to look at it. You know, here at T3 we have a lot of traders that all have different skill sets. Some like to trade the names you know, some like to trade news actionable plays, some like any different sector, and then there are some that trade IPOs. Okay, there's an art to trading new IPOs. This week, earlier in the week, we heard that Dang was coming out and Yoku. Dang's supposed to be the next Amazon.com of China, and Yoku, the YouTube or e-commerce, however they build it. Two very hot IPOs. So as a normal active trader that's probably listening to this, you probably weren't involved in the private placement, getting stock at $3. You probably weren't involved in the IPO unless you have a huge account and then you really scored because it could have been 13 or 15. That's where Dang started. You probably were in our position saying, how do we make money on the first day of trading the stock? I was on CNBC Asia. I gave an example, I believe Monday night, just talking about just the theory. Okay, at first we heard Dang was going to be from 11 to 13, then go maybe from 13 to 15 because the demand was there. So the example I said on CNBC Asia, which I'm going to post a link also, is just say that's the case. And Dang opens up and goes to 16 first, pulls in down to 15, hangs out there, hangs out. You see volume. As entry, once some of all the flippers are out and some of them are out of the way, the strategic entry is once it trades above that opening price or that opening price high. Sometimes it takes 5 minutes, sometimes it takes 15 minutes, but if this IPO is any good, if it's going to be a great trader, it's going to trade above that opening print, and that is your trade. And then you use intraday setups to stay with it. Some might actually buy it above that level and just sit back and hold it and not say I'm going to scale in and scale out. Some will try and chop it around. It's different based on your skill set. So for Dang, when we heard this morning it was going to be 23 to 25, I was a little taken back. I'm like, oh my God, there's not going to be so much opportunity here because 11 to 13, 13 to 15, now 23 to 25. I'm like, guys, you know the rules. It's going to open up, put an opening print, let it hover, and then once it trades above that opening print and you see momentum, that is our buy price. So if you take a quick look at Dang, this is how it traded. You go right here. I'm going to show, it was almost simple as day. I hate to say simple as day. This was your opening print. Okay, I printed like 25, touched 26, came in, went sideways for not even 15 minutes. Okay, so right away, everyone in our trading group wrote down the number 26, which was the high of the day. So it was hovering. Once it got a little bit above 25, 50. Some actually bought a little bit there, saying my stop's going to be the low of the day, which I believe was 25, 24.50. If it goes through 26, that's where I'm going to go after, because who knows, the Amazon of China, we all know what Amazon did over the course of the last whatever amount of years. It's actually almost at historic highs a few days back. So it could go to 30, 40, 50, whatever it's going to do, but it's got to trade through that opening print first. That's your point of reference. So here you go. It opened up, went sideways. Your trade was right here. The first one traded above 26, and look at this move. Above 26, it did its first trade up to almost 27 and change. That's $1.30. And then within 4 bars, it hit $30. So right there, that's a $4 trade, all happening by 10:05 in 30 minutes. And people say day trading's dead. Day trading is not dead if you have a strategy and a formula and you follow it. Okay, if it would have went above 26, 26.20, held there, went back below 26, volume dried off, you know what? That means the IPO wasn't hot and it sucked. And they priced it too high, and the only person who made money were the investment banking group and the selling group. And the rest of the street gets bagged. This one actually was very successful because the private placement people, the new issue people got new issue shares, and then even some of guys like ourselves who trade the open with the right strategy were able to make money. So here was your momentum trade. Then some sold into it, came right back down, retested. Look at this little thing right here. This little bar retested that 26 level. Then this range got nice and tight. Consolidation. Okay, and then here was another entry. Then it went back to the old highs, right? The resistance, where it sold off a little bit, and then it made a little bit of a new high, and really the fast active trade was right here, okay? And then, I guess again, this was your second or third tier trade, and it's still trading right now. And now if I were you, or the next point of reference will be, is how it handles this high of the day. And also I would say this is your level of support as of now, and then this would be your other level of support. But as far as the trades, there were a lot of them in here. So even if you weren't part of the new issue group, you could have still made money using that formula. And on Yoku, which was the internet play or the e-commerce play or the YouTube play, it was a little different. YouTube opened up and went quickly to 30. Okay, then it came back down a little bit, and it hovered between 28 and 30 for, I don't know, maybe a little bit more than 30 minutes, where the flippers had to get out, the people in the selling group had to get out, everyone took their free money. God bless, I wish I was one of those people that gets all that free money. I'm not, I'm a blue chip trader. I have to use actually, strategies in order to make it, instead of just giving shares to the street for commissions, and just not what I do, or I'm sure a lot of you guys as well. So right away with Yoku, 30 was the number. So let's see how Yoku traded. So you go, if I'm even saying it right, Yoku, there you go. Nope. I must have punched it up 10 times today. Here you go. This was the first open. Here was that first trade to 30. Happened very quickly. Happened in the first, 3 to 5 minutes of trading. Then it pulled in. The range got very, 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 very tight. Okay, all of a sudden, if you drew your little downtrend line, or a potential area to break this little symmetrical triangle, because again, we're technical traders. We're looking at the volume. We're looking to see if there's opportunity, if there's interest. Okay, so on this bar, this could be like, okay, this is starting to get better. This could have been your tier 1. Went up a little bit, didn't pull back. If you just used a rule that if it traded above the opening print, it went through 30 and went to almost as high as 36 with really no pain. So right there, using that strategy, that yielded you $6 if you did it right. Now obviously both traded a little bit different, but both with the same thesis is once it got above that opening high print and consolidated, that was your entry point. And then you also could have put a stop in at the low of the day or at that point, so at least you have defined risk in a new issue that's unproven. So here you go. This was the move. Then it came back down. It's been doing some corrective type action. And now it's just a little choppy. It's heading its way back to the highs. But this was your real money trade. Right here you could have added. And if you were just waiting for the break above the morning high, there you go. Day trading is not dead. It's just different. You have to be that much more strategic. You have to be that much more calculated. Now, that's your day one money. These Chinese IPOs, typically IPOs, I like to wait to see a 4 to 6 month time frame for them to build a base, get institutional interest, create levels to trade from, and then get involved. To give you a quick old one, CCIH was a level or one that came out, a few months back. It came out, there was decent money the first day, and it took a while to create that pivot. I remember in my head it was 28, just to give you an older example. Then if you look at CCIH, way back here, you go to the daily chart, this was your, the first day. This is why they have to prove themselves. This is when it came down, back up. Here's your wide range bar. And on a wider time frame, this was your entry. Once it crossed above this recent area of resistance, I even blogged about it. You can look it up at 28. From 28, it gave you a fast move all the way up to about 33 before hitting a high of 35. And now it's right back in the base. So you have right here a 6-week base that created a great trade. And now, about 3 to 4 months or 4 to 6 months is when you get the bigger base where we can look for a macro entry. So based on your time frame, you have the first day trade, you have the pivot point trade, and then you have the trade where you really have a nice setup. You see institutions, you see the behavior of the stock, and then maybe they go for a real run instead of just fast money trades for you. So as far as IPOs, they're not all created equal. These two were great today if you use the right strategy. Again, if you want to look at CNBC Asia, I talked about the strategy, but I didn't know the prices because then it was 13 to 15. We try and put out strategies for you guys beforehand so you could use them and actually make money with them. For those on T3 Live today, we were talking about it on the radio. Guys in the office did really good. Few of them had their best day of the year on a day when the market's doing nothing, just because they knew how to trade the IPOs the right way. But again, there is something for everyone. I personally don't love trading the new issues because they're a little crazy for me. I like to have a little bit more stability, and I could grab them a little bit harder, and I just know the complexion. But for some, it's definitely profitable. You just got to do it the right way, just like in any trade. This has been Scott Redler, T3 Live, how to trade IPOs, the profitable trade in Dang, Yoku, Chinese IPOs. There are going to be a lot more of them coming up. This market's acting very healthily. Come sign up for a 2-week trial with T3 Live. There's a lot more you can learn. Have a great day trading.